più dry farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolgino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolgino d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non più drai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolgino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolgino d'amor. Fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto.
Who doesn't love pizza? And if you love pizza, you've gotta love a calzone. Now, the theme for this week's Food Network Work Challenge was actually international. And when I think of international cuisine, I think of Italian cuisine. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a good reason. It's extremely flavorful. It's the fanciest comfort food you can possibly imagine. And I realized through this Food Network Challenge that I have it down when it comes to making Italian dishes, because I've actually won a couple of them just with those dishes. I tied for first place with my chicken parm waffle. I won last week with the homemade fettuccine and meatballs. And I knew that if I was going to do international and Italian, I should probably do something pizza-based. I shouldn't have just done a generic pizza, because there wouldn't have been really much in terms of presentation or really any surprise. No one would be surprised with the type of pizza that I made, because they know I'm a meat and potatoes guy. They know that I'm strictly either pepperoni only or free meat in regards to pizza. I don't even like garlic sticks for whatever reason. Garlic goes well with so many different things. I just don't think it goes very well with bread. But I knew if I made a calzone, it would be a little bit of a surprise, because there's a little more technique to it. I always wanted to try it out at home, and it's a fancy pizza pocket. What's not to love about that? So thankfully, there's a cooking channel on YouTube called Tasty, which if you haven't checked it out, definitely do. I love their segment where they try out celebrities' recipes for things like nachos, fried chicken, hot wings, really good videos. And they have this sped up tutorial on how to make a classic meat lover's calzone. And the cool thing about seeing that video is knowing for a fact that their process works so long as you follow the exact instructions and use the right recipes, which I did. I did take 3/4 cup of warm water, warm, not hot, 1 1/8 teaspoon of yeast, a couple cups of all-purpose flour, add an extra quarter in there because it's going to make the dough it's going to make the dough easier to knead. It's not going to feel so sticky or shaggy, because when I made my homemade fettuccine, it still worked out very well, but I had to add a lot more flour as I was operating the pasta maker. My dad made his own dough by adding an extra quarter cup, and it made all the difference. And it made all the difference here too. And yes, I used a bread maker to make pizza again as opposed to kneading it out with my own hands, but let's be completely honest. You would do the exact same thing if you were me. But yeah, it worked out very nicely. I put it in a well-oiled bowl and let it rise for an hour, because that's basically the minimum of letting pizza dough rest and letting the yeast rise up. There are some recipes where you don't really have to do that much other than let it sit in the fridge overnight, and I didn't really want to take that chance because for some reason I thought it was too good to be true and there was still room for error. But thankfully, there was no error here. The only error I thought was going to happen was if I tried the pizza flip, but thankfully it worked out because I watch way too much Food Network shows, and if you see it on Bobby Flay or Guy's Grocery Games, you don't even have to practice all that much. You see exactly what they do, you know how they throw it in the air. Thankfully, Thankfully, when I did it, it didn't drop on the floor. If it did, I would have left it in the video just for comedy's sake and just to show that any chef, no matter how many years of experience they have, they can still fuck things up. And that's one of the great things about Food Network competition shows. If you ever have a crappy day at work, you can feel a hell of a lot better knowing that even Iron Chefs fuck up in the most basic things. So on the whole, another short and sweet cooking video, but for damn good reason. It was a lot easier to make, and it was unbelievably delicious, and I don't think I even really have to spell that out. It's pizza! Who doesn't love pizza? And again, if you love pizza, you gotta love calzones, and if you've made your own pizza, make your own calzone at some point. It'll totally be worth it. Put whatever you want inside. Make sure you use egg wash, and do make sure that you poke holes in the center like I did so that it will cook all the way through. And one other thing, this is kind of optional, but the Tasty video said to cook it at 425 degrees. Start off that way for the first 10 minutes, but because the pan is going to heat up very quickly, I drop it down to 350 during the last 10 minutes just to make sure you don't burn the hell out of it. I didn't burn mine, but that was a common fear that I had going into it, so definitely be careful of the heat that you set your oven to. In any case, guys, thanks as always for watching this cooking video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of my calzone. Let me know what's your favorite Italian dish that I made, because I'm struggling to figure out what other Italian stuff I haven't made yet. But yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Be sure to stay tuned for more cooking videos every Friday. Be sure to stay tuned for the rest of my Studio Ghibli series. And be sure to like and subscribe. Take care.